Hi guys, it's Crystal. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to show you guys some really cool tips and tricks that I do for using raglans with sublimation. So I'm going to show you guys how I put the image on the sleeves, and then I'm also going to show you how I just simply downloaded a picture off the internet from our stadium, from the football field. You could go down to your local field, take a picture, whatever, and simply just make a little design, and then to show you how it would look on the gray. So there's just a few little things that I'm showing you guys. Now the blanket that we're using is from Lucky Bird Clothing. I've talked about them a while back. They sent me several shirts to try. They have not paid me at all. They just sent me a few shirts to test out. I love them. They love me. So we just kind of work together like that. Now, I absolutely love their stuff. It's super soft and they're very affordable. So definitely check them out. Their shipping is super fast and super sweet, people. Now this is 65, I think. Let me double check really quick. 65 poly, 35 cotton. So it's a really nice fill-in t-shirt. And like I said, what we're going to do is I'm going to show you guys how to incorporate putting a design on the sleeves, and then as well as adding something to the front just to make a really cute shirt this season. So let's go ahead and jump right in. So the things that I'm going to be using is I've already printed these. You guys know that I have the Sawgrass SG400, which is now the Sawgrass SG500. It is linked down below. I also have a video linked down below to show you guys the heat presses, the ones I recommend in case they're sold out. All of that jazz is linked down below. All right, so the next thing is I'm going to try to use this today inside my sleeves. So if you guys know, over there at Heat Press Nation, I've talked about this before. It comes with several different pads, like there's one for the pocket, all of those things. So I want to try to use this one inside the sleeve today. So I'll show you guys how this works. I'm going to show you guys how I designed that out at the end. So I'm going to also show you how I did this. All of that information will be at the end, so I don't take up a ton of time here. So I used my printer to do this. I've already printed it out. Now I wanted to point out, when I did this and designed it, I accidentally got a little bit crooked, but I'm going to show you really quick how to fix that, because I like to always take off the excess anyways whenever I work. So I'm going to show you how to do that. All right, so I just print both of these off. I'm going to use my handy dandy paper trimmer. All of these things that I use are linked down below once again. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to simply trim this in half, just enough to where I have room to work with it. So I'm going to do this, and I'm actually going to take a little bit more off, so that way we can kind of see what we're working with. So I've got something about like this to work with. All right, so I've got that. And then we're just going to do the same thing here. And we have something about like that. All right, so get that out of the way. Now with this one, to fix this, this is the way I'm going to do it. So if you have something that has font and you can tell that it's crooked, it's down here at the bottom and you need to take that off, this is how I'm going to do it. So I'm going to get it underneath my paper trimmer. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to line up the bottom of this font here, the very bottom, to the clear glass on this side, right? The clear piece here. So all I'm doing is lining up this part right here to the bottom of this. So this top piece of plastic, if that makes sense. Hopefully you guys can all see that. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hold it tight so it doesn't shift, so it don't shift. And I'm simply gonna go across there, and now I should have a pretty straight line there. So I'm just getting rid of all of that white. I just like to do that. That way I can kind of see where I'm working. Just like that. And you definitely don't have to do this, but it just kind of helps me see exactly my placement of where I want that to be. So there's our image. All right, get this out of the way. And then you're definitely going to want to make sure that you have your lint roller and that you have your heat resistant tape ready to go. All right, so let's start with the sleeves. Let's knock those out really quick. We're gonna do one at a time. And the way that I'm gonna have this here, the way that I designed it, is I'm gonna have Dardanelle here going in one direction and then sand lizards going in the other direction. So it's like Dardanelle, sand lizards, if that makes sense. All right, so let's do one sleeve at a time. You basically wanna figure out right here, and you can usually see where your line of your shirt is to where this is gonna set, right? So that's where you basically just need to figure out. So you should already have a crease line. If you don't, you can simply fold your t-shirt to where you know that's gonna be where it needs to be, lay it flat, take it over to your heat press, easy press, whatever, and create a crease here. So that way you have that to follow, all right? So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna have this, and I'm gonna simply slide this right inside. And then now I can figure out where I want my placement. So I'm gonna get this on here, try to center it up. So what I'm doing is I'm trying to leave equal distances here from the top to the bottom. And then I'm gonna have it in the center. Now if you need to find the center of this design here, you can simply fold it over from letter to letter there and get a crease, so that way you kind of know. Do the same thing with this side. Get a crease. I'm gonna go ahead and take my lint roller and just roll straight down, making sure there's nothing there. Okay. I can get that straight again. Get that right on that line, just like that. And say I'm pretty content with where that is. I'm gonna go ahead and take some heat resistant tape here. Get one on this side. And I'm gonna get one on this side. All right, so now what we're gonna do is I'm gonna take this over to the heat press and I'm gonna get this under my press and we're gonna press that down. Now that we're over here at the press, I've already got it preheated to where I want it. I'm gonna do 375 for 40 seconds. So what I'm gonna do is I've got my little pad underneath here. I'm just gonna make sure everything's nice and smooth. All right, so you just want to basically make sure everything's nice and flat. I'm going to take a piece of our butcher's paper, which I'll link this down below. It's a huge roll from Heat Press Nation and it'll last you forever. We're just going to cover our design. And you want light pressure, and I'm going to go ahead and drop that down for 40 seconds. All right, we're gonna lift it. So all I gotta do is I'm gonna grab my handle, pull up, pull this out of here. You guys can kind of see that steam there. That's just the gases from the sublimation. All right, so now what we're gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and simply peel this really quick. So you guys can see that there. There it is, as you can see, looks good. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do the same thing to the other side. Pop this in here, and it's gonna be the same thing. We're gonna follow that same crease, and if yours does not have a crease, make sure you kind of press that with your press. All right. So now that we've got the pad in there, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take our lint roller once again, and make sure you roll anywhere you're going to be working. All right, we're gonna follow that crease again. Now this time, as you guys can see, I've got Dardanelle. Dardanelle was going in this way. The sand lizard this time is gonna go in this direction. I'm gonna do that same thing where I'm gonna fold this to figure out my placement, get a crease there. Same thing to this side. Get my crease, and now we're ready. All right, so same thing, I'll be able to just kind of go here to there. I'm just gonna kind of eyeball it, make sure I've got about the same distance on each side, follow those crease lines, and tape it. All right, just like that. Same thing, we're gonna take it over to the heat press area. You just wanna make sure everything's nice and smooth. Looks good underneath there. I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna cover this side with that butcher paper. I'm able to reuse it as long as there's no ink on there. And then we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna drop it down, light pressure. All right, same thing. I'm gonna grab my handle at the top, pull up. I'm gonna pull off that butcher paper. You can see the gases come out, and we're gonna go ahead and simply pull that off. And we're ready to go. And it's really cool because you guys can see like that black behind the red there. All right, so let's go ahead and take this back to the table. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and pull that off. But as you guys can see, it looks like it's double layered, so you can see the black outline with the red. It's really neat. All right, Dardanelle sand lizards. How cute is that? So that's how you guys can utilize your sleeves and stuff to do the sides. It's really cute. I love how they came out. So now let's do the front. All right, so let's go ahead and work on the front. So before we get started, you definitely want to go over and make sure you lint roll the entire front of your shirt. If you don't, you will get blue dots. So this right here, you definitely don't want to skip this spot. There we go. So wherever you're working, I have seen sometimes the blue dot get on the outside of the area. It's weird. So I think the gases, the way it works, it could land over here. So be safe on that. All right. So I just kind of make sure I get the whole front of my shirt. All right. Your image here to find that center. Once again, you're just going to fold it in half, get that crease going on. And then that crease, I'm going to line up with this line here. Okay. So I'm just going to take it under here and I'm making sure that crease line is going to be right in the center. And I like to do mine somewhere so I can follow these lines. You can see how that's on the sides here as well. And I'm just kind of eyeballing. I've kind of learned that I just kind of like mine it different depending on what I'm making. I don't necessarily do just 3 fingers. Just kind of depends on what I'm making. All right, now before you lift this, you can go ahead and start putting your tape down. That's what I love about this as well. So pop me a piece of tape there. And I'm gonna pop me a piece of tape there. And that should be pretty good. That should be enough. All right, so let's go ahead and head back over to our heat press and get this pressed. Now, the great thing about the Craft Press Pro is the 13x9. It's a good enough size. Now, let me show y'all real quick. I haven't even showed y'all. You can actually pull this out. So this is a drawer. So if you guys have been following me for a while, you guys already know how this works. But if you haven't, this is a drawer. You can pull it out a little bit. Trying to make sure you guys will be able to see, so I don't want to take it out too far. So that way your hands are not underneath there, all right? And that's what I love about this. All right, so now what I'm gonna do is get this all the way underneath, making sure it's all the way up here. Okay, and it don't need to be centered or nothing like that. I just need it all underneath here. There we go, cover that up. You gotta push this back underneath here. All right, light pressure. All right, it's ready to go, and hold my handle and my top. Being careful because if you shift the image, you can get ghosting. Move that out of the way. You can pull this out just a little bit, grab that corner, and boom, just like that. Super cute. So let's go ahead and take it back over to the table. All right, back at the table, here we go. And look how cute that is on the gray. It looks really good. Let me get this laid out so you guys can get the whole full effect here. All right, so I've kind of got that laid out a little bit so you guys can get the full effect. So you've got your Dardanelle sand lizards. So that's one way to utilize your sleeves here with raglans, long sleeves, or whatever it is. Now, with the printer that I have, which would be the SG500 for you if you were going to purchase one, or if you own the SG400, you can actually do, you guys can actually do 8.5 by 14, I think. So you can actually even stretch this longer if you need to, if you use the bigger, longer papers for that. So that is something to keep in mind as well. So definitely keep some of those longer pieces on hand. Now this right here, I could actually make this image way bigger, but I like to bring those down a little bit when I'm working with this stuff. Sometimes I think they can get really big. So you don't have to have them that big. I believe I did like 9 inches on here, like 9.5 inches. And it came out really good. And then I just added that DHS 2021. Now keep in mind, this is 65 poly. So if you use 100% polyester, the more bright and vibrant this is gonna be. So always keep that in mind in case you guys are wondering and be like, well, could that have been a little bit brighter? Yes, if it was 100%, but it looks great, I think, on this one right here for the 65. And like I said before, this is so soft. It's super soft. I love it. Even making your kids some shirts, yourself, your whole family, I really think it's still a great investment. But this is one way, like I said, to utilize your sleeves, taking images. This was on Google. You could also, like I said, take your camera down to your local football field stadium and take pictures yourself. You could put your kids in front of this. You could have used the whole football team picture as well, would be really good too. All right, so if you guys have stuck around and you guys want to see how I designed this over in Creative Studio, stick around and let me go show you how that's done. Alright, first thing you want to do is pick your product. So we're working with clothing. I'm going to click that here. As you guys can see, you can even choose the sleeves. Sleeves, socks, clothes, or whatever. So that's what's really cool too, is they have the blanks to work on as well. So let me show you the sleeve and then show you what I did to make sense. Okay, so I chose the arm sleeve large. Click on that here. And then I'm going to type text. Alright, the next thing I did was choose text. Creative Studio, or you can use your own font that you have. I'm going to use Creative Studio. Alright, then what I did was I started to type in a letter, so L-E-T, and you'll see it pop up. This is the one I used right here. Alright, and then I'm going to start typing. So first thing I'm going to do is start now. Then I'm going to bring this out. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to rotate. You can do that here by using this, or you can do it here as well. I just like to do it here. I think I can get a little bit more precise. And it doesn't have to be perfect because you're going to do that yourself whenever you get done. Alright, so I can figure out what it's going to look like on a sleeve. So I can design it here. You can print it by itself here if you wanted to. That way you can kind of get an idea about how big you want that to be. Now you can see how big your image is by coming over here. I go to inches. So I need to stay within that 11-inch mark, right? So I can kind of bring that down a little bit, like so. So I can kind of just play around, figure out how that's going to look on the sleeve. Now, this is what I did next. I need to create it again because I need sand lizards. I kind of set this out of the way, just a little bit over here to the side, right? So I'm going to click it again, and this time I'm going to type in sand lizard. What I tried to do was kind of keep it around the same height as that one. And then also to change the color, right down here, you can go to your fill color. And I changed mine to red, so you can do whatever you want to do there. Alright, so what I'm going to do is, so I can play around there and I can see, okay, so I like those. So now you can see I have both here. So I've got those. Now, this is what I like to do. I just like to try to make sure so I can see it on a sheet of paper, make sure my sizes are right. I know I'm weird like this. This is just what I do. You can save it at this point, and that way you know your sleeves. You can keep it out of the way here and kind of play around with these. And grab that one back, bring it back. What I like to do is go back to blank products, go to clothing. I know, like I said, it's weird. Or you can go to just a blank sheet of paper. So what I do is I just go back to the t-shirts, and then I'm going to stretch this out here. So I know this is my 8.5 by 11. So, because it's weird, when you bring it into another piece, it sizes them back down. So I know that I want to bring these out as big as I possibly can. So basically at this point, I hit print. So if I go to print, which I'm going to cancel it, but I'll show y'all real quick, just so you can see. So I'd hit print, and then it's going to bring it up like this. I would go through all the process. For my product, I'm going to choose that it is going to be polyester fabric. For my paper, it is text print R. I choose high quality. I'll choose between photograph and between vivid. That's just kind of what I do. And then I would hit print and go through that. So that's just how I do that one. Now let me go ahead and show you how I designed out the image. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit start new. I do it right on the t-shirt. So I choose the t-shirt here. I love these. And you can even flip it around and see the back. So you can flip those around. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is we're going to go to gallery. I'm going to go to my images, and you're going to just upload it. So you'll hit upload, upload, and you can simply pick whatever you want from there, okay? But I've already brought mine in here, and what I did was I went to Google. I typed in football stadium, Dardanelle, Arkansas, you can, wherever you're at. Even if you want to do, you know, say the Dallas Cowboys, whatever you wanted to do. And then I used, where was it? Right here. I used this one. And the way that I do these is, I'm actually going to shrink this a little. I just grab it like this, and I drop it to my desktop and let go, and then it's there. I could do that with anything. So say this is our mascot. I could grab him, bring him over. I could do anything. I could even use, like, this picture here would be pretty cool. You know, using the boys and have that image there. This one here, that shows the entire team, etc., etc. All right. Once you upload that, you're just simply going to click on it. And then this is a really cool image to show you too. This one came in a little bit weird like this, and let me show you how I fixed it. What I did was I came to crop, and then I need to crop. So what I want to do is actually just have equal sides here and get rid of the rest. So all you're going to do is you're going to grab it like this. I'm holding down on my mouse, and I'm just going to go just like this, and I hit crop. But for me, I wanted mine a little bit bigger, so I rotated it, okay? So just like that. And then I simply brought it out, and I went, like I said, around, it was probably around 9/11 or something. So I say 9/19 there, and then brought this in just like this. It doesn't have to be perfect. I can go all the way over. I can center, whatever you want to do. It's going to fix and center itself anyways whenever we go over to the to printing, okay? So I put this wherever you want it to be. Then I hit text, and then Creative Studio. I'm going to type in that letter again. Here we go. Now this time I did DHS space 2021. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to stretch this guy out, make it bigger, and then I'm going to rotate it, do that same thing, just kind of rotating it, and this is how I got it a little bit crooked. So just make sure you get that exactly where you want it. Okay. So say, and then I just try to center this up between here and there, something like that. Alright, same thing, once again, maybe bring that down a little bit. Say it was something like that. Either way, I would go to print. It's going to show you what it would look like on there, which obviously I'm just trying to print landscape. Same thing. I would choose polyester fabric, text print R, high quality, all that stuff. Change it to vivid, do whatever I want to do. And then hit print. So that's just how I do it. So there it is. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope you found it helpful. If you did, please hit the like button down below and subscribe. And I will see you guys on the next one.